Hey guys, Michelle Reynolds. It's right at the top of the hour. Thanks for being with me. And tonight we're going to learn about the rule of thirds. Some of you may know what that is and some of you may not, but it's right at the top of the hour. And thank you for being here early if you're here. I see some of you are, and some of you are just getting on. So I wanted to see who's here. So James, Sarah, thanks for being here. And I'm watching some names come in. So we'll just give those people a shout out in a minute. So again, my name is Michelle Reynolds, and I do a free weekly training every Thursday, and we talk about the system of SendOutCards, and tonight is a tip on how to use it better, and we're going to talk about the rule of thirds. Now, some of you may know what the rule of thirds are, and some of you may not. I just happen to love photography. It is definitely a passion of mine. I'm taking pictures all the time, and it's to not only capture memories, but to really, really cherish and make people feel really special. So that's my goal, right? So rule of thirds. So you guys are probably walking around with cell phones, right? So mine has the camera on the front, and I'm literally always taking, here, let me take your picture, right? Okay, so I will send that to you later. A picture of people all the time, and I think it's really important to capture because you don't get moments back with people, and so it's important to live now and take pictures now and celebrate now. So we'll talk about what is the rule of thirds, and then I'm going to show you how to use it not only in your photography, but I'm going to show you how to use it in your card sending, because we literally are a digital world and all of our pictures are most likely digital today, and I'm going to show you some cool things you can do with that. So bear with me as I share my screen, and I'll show you what the rule of thirds is. So hold on. All right, so the rule of thirds. So what you were going to be seeing at this point is just a picture down in the bottom right, or down on my screen. It's like of a bird on a beach, right? Well, that's the original photo. Well, what if I told you to to put two lines a third apart on that picture vertically and horizontally? Well, you'd have you'd have 9 boxes per se. And so as you look at a digital picture, or you're taking pictures from now on, whether it's vertical or landscape, I want you to think of your grid being on. Now, I don't know, most smartphones today, actually you can turn on the grid on your picture so that actually the boxes show up. Mine actually has the grid, and the reason I do that is I'm going to show you how to make some really, really cool photos. The whole purpose of a rule of a third is photographic composition, how to make a well-balanced, interesting picture. And I'm going to show you some of the things you can do. Is you're going to break the image into thirds vertically and horizontally to get that grid that you see in front of you. And now what you want to do is you want to put your points of interest at the intersection. So you can see there on the screen how the bird is at an intersection, and that is actually going to make people naturally interact with that photo. So that's what you want to do with your photos, is you want to put your subject, person or thing or landscape, in one of those intersections, and we're going to talk about 10 tips of how to do that. So let's go one more down. So this is that grid that I was talking about, and the red highlights there are the intersections where you want to put your main topic, whether it's person, place, or thing. All of those it's supposed to fall within those grids per se. Now the rule of thirds, we're going to look at some examples, because being that this is kind of about digital, I want you to see. So you're going to see a picture of a bee right there on some flowers. It's a close-up. It's absolutely beautiful. Well, the bee's eye is the point of interest. Then we're going to look at one. It's this man speaking, and he's got two things that are, well, actually 3 things that are point of interest there. His eyes are the main one. You're drawn to his eyes, and then you're drawn to his tie next, and the flower third. And some of them might be flower second, tie third. So those are where your eyes naturally look, and you can see how he's kind of off to the right in that picture. Now this one, this gal is actually fabulously vertically aligned with the left vertical line on the rule of thirds. So she's off center. Now if you were to put her dead center in the middle of that photo, it would just kind of look like awkward, like there's a lot of, the room would look odd shaped. And I know you guys have seen pictures where people are right in the middle and they do look awkward a little bit. So what you do is you just either blow up the picture or you crop it so that person's left. You could actually, that lamp is over there and you can see some of the light. So it makes it kind of cool where it kind of almost looks like a little flame coming out of that lamp. And so it brings it some imagery. And then off to the right, the point of interest is the dishes. So just a little lower than the point of intersection. But so you see her, the lamp, and the dishes is where you go with that. The next one is I'm going to let you imagine the lines on this landscape. The point of interest is the house on the beautiful tropical water. How gorgeous is that? So you can imagine those lines. Next, I'm going to give you 10 tips on how to improve your photographic composition. So the first one is you want to position your horizons in landscape. And so a lot of people will take it vertically. Make sure you're doing it horizontally. And you can see in a landscape versus portrait layout. And you can see it depends on what you want the subject matter to be. So in the top one, the clouds, the beautiful orange clouds are what they're looking at. In the bottom one, the bridge and the front imagery of the ground is what people are seeing. And then the third thing they look at is that very blue cloud to the left. So again, your eyes definitely only go a couple places when you do layout and design. Another way that I was taught the rule of thirds very early on was when you read left to right. And did you know you actually read left to right in a Z shape? So you go left to right, vertically down, left to right. And so that's how you read. It's how your mind actually flows. So if you think about your pictures that way, if you follow a Z, you also are going to be following the rule of thirds. So same, it depends on how your brain can grab that concept. So the second tip is to position your main subject off center. So in the top picture, there is a tree that is on the bottom right grid of the rule of thirds. And the bottom picture there is the beautiful sunset behind the mountains, which is the top right grid box on the rule of thirds. Very beautiful. Okay. The third tip is you want to position the eyes in your pictures on the top grid whenever possible. And the reason is it makes the picture very, very powerful. It makes it strong. It draws people in. So whether that's animals, anything that has eyes, you want to, obviously the sky does not have eyes, but anything that has eyes, if you can, put them on the top right or the top left of the grid, depending on how the subject is in your picture. And then you want to break symmetry. So you can see here, there's water in the front, mountains in the back. Beyond that, there is sun. And then in the way front, there's actually water that has reflection. And so it's great, great photo for breaking symmetry. And it's absolutely just gorgeous. And you want to just go, wow, that's beautiful. There's so many things going on there that you want to stop and look at that picture. The fifth topic, or the fifth tip in the rule of thirds, is you want to align vertical subjects. So in this case, there is a beautiful rose inside of a building, actually, looking through the glass with the tall skyscraper on the right, the dark glass building. So that's a beautiful photo of two vertical subjects aligned according to the rule of thirds. It's a very powerful picture. The third is you want to, or the sixth tip, not the third. The sixth tip is you leave negative space, which means empty space. So don't be afraid of empty space. And again, this photo is gorgeous. It's aligned vertically. It's also aligned horizontally. The color pops, and it's absolutely got plenty of white space around it where you can really grasp the beauty of what it is you're seeing. So that's an absolutely gorgeous photo. That's number 6. Number 7 is leave active space for moving objects. So in this case, there's a lady walking. Now your mind can probably see her continuing to walk, being that there is space to the right of her. The lights fall on the rule of thirds top line, horizontal line. The sidewalk also hits that, but then she falls vertically on the rule of thirds. So that is a fabulous picture for the rule of thirds. But you almost, your mind can almost see her foot, her right foot, take that next step, and you could almost hear her shoes on the floor. It's absolutely a gorgeous photo. Number 8 tip is leave space for a subject to look into. So in this case, there's a gal and she's leaning against a wall at a doorway. And your mind, actually, the way that this is positioned, you can see her looking further right into that secondary room. And you can see, your mind can almost visualize what it is she's seeing beyond that doorway to the right, based on how she's looking. So again, fabulous. It's vertically aligned and horizontally aligned, more vertical in this case because her face doesn't fall on the rule of thirds, but it's vertically aligned with it. But the top of the door is horizontally aligned with the rule of thirds. So great photo exact for that. Number 9 is emphasize the important part of a close-up. This is one of my favorite ones of all of them. I love close-up photos. I love this. Now, the intersection that is most important in this photo with the grid lines is the bottom right intersection of the vertical and horizontal lines. It's the dead center of that flower. And look how gorgeous. Now, what else you really do see is the left bottom. You see the rain on that flower. That big raindrop that draws you in as well, right? Gorgeous. And then you see the different color pop to the top right of the grid, right at the intersection point of the rule of thirds. So again, gorgeous, gorgeous photo. So as you're taking photos, look for these things. And does your subject fall at one of the intersections? Number 10, the last tip is compose abstracts whenever possible with lines, patterns, and text. So look at that fence, that iron fence, and look where that falls. It falls on the very top horizontal rule of thirds line. And so what that looks like to me when I look at it is I'm standing out on a sidewalk. I can see the fence, and my mind wants to see what's beyond the fence on the other side. So my mind naturally goes there because of the lines and the pattern. And I think they need to rake, but other than that, I think it's absolutely a gorgeous photo. I love all the colors. It totally draws me in. I love the abstract of the lines of the fence. It's gorgeous. So what it does, the rule of third, is it improves your composition with your layout. It makes your photos tighter, better, and more cropped. So it makes them really, really responsive, where people are like, wow, that is a great photo. Well, you just actually played with it. So that's the first thing I want to do. The second thing I want to do is I want to show you using a service that I use. It's called SendOutCards. We actually are a greeting card company. I'm going to actually bring you back over to me first, and then I will show you that. So hello, for those of you who haven't been here. I actually have some cards that follow the rule of thirds. These are some of my favorite cards. These are my sample cards. I carry these specifically with me. And so the first one, I love this back, and I get a lot of compliments on it, but this follows the rule of thirds. What do you think is the vertical image there? It's Paris. It's definitely the Eiffel Tower, for sure. And so that follows the rule of thirds. If you go vertically and horizontally, this is what draws people. And so people always want to know what's up with Paris, right? You can ask me, I'll tell you. This one is a photographer followed. My friend Rosita did this rule of thirds. The baby is to the left, and the top grid is where the baby's eyes are. Now there's some more photos in here. I'm gonna let you decide. So this one right here, rule of thirds. Where's the baby? Off center and and horizontal line where the eyes are. Perfect. Now the inside, the rule of thirds. If you take that huge picture and you go, okay, where is it? Well, the baby's eyes are on the bottom grid. They're almost on the top grid, not quite, but what do really people first look at here? They look at this ball. This is the actual place that people look at first. And then they see the gift. And of course, they're drawn to the baby, because if you read in a Z shape, and I'm going to try and do it backwards here. I'll try and go this way. If you read in a Z shape, you go over, you go down, and you go across. So there's no way you can't see that baby in that picture, but your eyes are naturally drawn to the gold ball first. Okay, excellent rule of thirds card. This one is a realtor card that they might use. It says, welcome to your new home. It does follow the rule of thirds. Again, words create an abstract that's on the top horizontal line, and then the flowers are on the left vertical line, and the fruit right here in this blue bowl is your other. So it literally takes you in that same pattern. So rule of thirds, excellent picture. This is I'm going to say that one till last. It's my favorite. Here's another card from a dear friend that card is several years old, but rule of thirds. So again, they fall on the horizontal of that picture, off center. This one right here are their kiddos. Their eyes, her eyes are on the top and her eyes are on the vertical. So excellent photo of them. This is the girls. Again, top grid, off center, vertical line. Okay, the sun, same thing, top vertical line, vertical. So excellent, excellent card. And then this is the couple that sent the card. Their eyes are on the top horizontal line, and that other grid is right here. So it takes you right in the center of them, right? So it's a gorgeous, gorgeous card. So the whole card meets the rule of thirds, actually. And then the whole card, it's fabulous. Okay, this is our CEO and founder, where his family followed the rule of thirds. What they did is they put a picture within the template, and so their eyes on this part of the card, if you take just this picture and you run that into your grid box, their eyes are on the top vertical line, which is why that picture is so attractive, is because you're like, wow, good looking family. And they look sharp, they look happy, they follow the rules of thirds. They know this rule, okay? Same with this. This picture, love it. I would have moved it off just a little bit one way or the other. Still gorgeous. I mean, what can I say? They're a gorgeous family. Rule of thirds, this couple, if you break this photo into rule of thirds, they're off center, their eyes are at the top. So they did a very good job. Kids, their pictures, if you looked at, if every one of those was in a grid, their eyes are all at the top line of the rule of thirds. So really, really good picture. Now this is my favorite. So, so this is a front of a card. It's got a whole bunch of imagery, landscape. This creates an abstract where you're like, oh, that's so cool. There's a lot of things to look at there. But this is one of the most powerful cards I've ever received. So look at the rule of thirds, right? Where are the eyes of the snowman? They're at the top horizontal line. The pipe is at the bottom horizontal line, and the snowman actually right here takes up a third of the card. It's about half, but really he takes up about a third of it. It's just a very powerful card. Now if we do the Z pattern, how I told you people read, so they're going to look at eyes, they're going to look at nose, they're going to look at words, right? So they follow that exact pattern. So it's just a good layout and design pattern for your cards. So that is the rule of thirds. Now I'm going to show you how to do that in a card. So let me go do that real quick. So I'm going to go into this section. This software is called, I think I'm still talking to you. Hold on, uno momento, por favor. Let's see. Okay, so now you should be seeing my screen. Okay, so in the SendOutCards system, it's a greeting card company. If you're not familiar with it, get back with me or get back with the person who's sharing this video. with you, and they would be happy to show it to you. I have actually used the service for 10 years, and certainly do talk to them about the income opportunity as well, because it's good. You want to talk to them about it. So investigate what's best for you using it, or using it and sharing it. But our software allows you to use your own digital pictures by doing create a picture plus 2.0 card. Now you must create whatever layout you want. So you can look at your photos and go, do I want postcard, 2-panel card, 3-panel card, big card? And do I want it vertical, or do I want it landscape? So that's for you to decide. So today I'm going to pick this greeting card right here that's landscape, and I'm going to just see what pictures I already have in my system. I did not pre-plan any of this, so we're just going to play and see what we got. So all right, there's the front of the card. It says drag image here. So I'm going to go over here to pictures, and I do have some photos uploaded in here, and we're going to look at the rule of thirds. Now, this is my friend Michelle, and you can edit these in an editing software, but I'm just going to move her down. So now if you look at that card, and I'm going to do print preview so you can actually see it. So you're going to see where the cut lines are on that card. But if I were to take my mouse and I were to draw this right there, right there, right there, and right there, now I would want to move her just a little bit to the left, so her eye, this eye right here, falls right here in that intersection. So her jacket may actually just be barely cutting off. But and again, you have to maybe use an editing software for that, because I can't move her left anymore. I can move her up and down a little bit. But in this case, the picture is large enough that it's not going to let me move it left and right. But it's fairly close, so I don't get too, like, it has to be like right in that intersection. This really does follow the rule of thirds the way it is. I would prefer she moved a little to the left. However, I'm not going to recreate the wheel here, so I'm going to leave it. I'm also going to do one other thing. I'm going to go back one screen, and I'm going to go to the top and do create a picture plus 2.0 card. And I'm actually going to create a vertical template at this point. And I could do anything I want on the front, but I'm going to go to the inside of that card. And I'm going to go back to pictures, which is the picture tab to the left. And we're going to try something real quick. So I'm going to actually take her and drag her photo over here. And I'm going to do span. It may not be big enough yet. It's saying it's not big enough. Dang it. So what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to actually span my Paris picture. So now you can see right here, this photo, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's some stuff at the bottom. So the rule of thirds, this Paris Eiffel Tower and this heart fall at the top right intersection, and the words that say I love you fall at the bottom left intersection. So this is one of the pictures that I use for anniversary cards. So I always like to come in here and play with the different layouts to see which way is going to make that card. So now I'm going to do a landscape postcard just so you can see all the different options. And we'll use more than that one picture, but I just want to show you a few of the things you can do so you can get the concept of the rule of thirds. It's really a simple concept, but there's that card. So if you were to draw your lines there, so one would go right here, right where the words start at the bottom, and right here, right between the heart and the Eiffel Tower, and then right at the base of that Eiffel Tower, right at that first segment, and then right at the bottom of the Eiffel Tower. So this is key to where things land, and this is key to where your eyes look naturally. Let's look at some of my other pictures here. This family, if we were to span that picture, I would want to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually expand them so you can see what I can do here. I can make them go to the right, and I can make their eyes fall on that top right intersection. So this gentleman, the dad, is on the vertical line. The eyes of the subjects are on the top grid line. So there's tons of stuff you can do. Let's see. Let's go down to this one. that flower, and again, I may have to, I would prefer it's a little more to the left and just a little lower. I like that flower to be right here, but the photo's large enough and it's shrinking it to a postcard, so it won't let me move this. It'll let me move it up and down a little bit, but not left and right. And so I'd have to just adjust the photo. Let's go this adorable picture. So rule of thirds, the mom's eyes and that adorable sweet baby. So the top line is right where the mom's eyes are, Michelle's eyes, and you catch the top of the baby's head, and then you go down here and you see the coffee mug. So you know that they're having a mommy-daughter date. How cute is that? Okay, I'm going to show you a few more. Now this one, again, is not going to do rule of thirds because she falls right in the middle. But imagine her off to the left. She was so excited. That's not crying, that's excitement. But imagine that off to the left a little bit. So let's go put that on an actual card so we can move her to the left. She's adorable. All right, so I'm going to do this. So I'm going to put her, she's talking to the cows. How sweet is that? Right? Rule of thirds. She's at the prime intersection right there. Vertical and horizontal. Her little back of her little head, her little ponytail. Isn't that so sweet? All right, let's see what else. This gal. Now this, I would actually make her a little bit bigger. So her eyes fall on the top of the rule of thirds. This is a bride who's snowboarding in her wedding dress. I was like, you go, girl. So right there, she's on the top line, and there's a lot of space. Now remember, she might be better suited, actually, if we could find this picture and move her over this way a little bit more. It won't go any more than that. But if I could put her to the right, a moving target can imagine her going down the rest of the mountain, right? So you kind of get that. Let's see what else we got here. Balloon, hot air balloon. Love this picture. What I like to do, though, when I send it, is I move it to the right. So you guys look at that. So there's center, and you can see, yeah, that's cool. But look at it off to the right, where it's a third of the picture. Much more powerful. It actually draws you in quite a bit. And the other thing you can do is you can make it even bigger, where it's literally the top third of that, where the intersection literally is right here. So they see clouds, but they have no idea how high that balloon is. There's just much to actually look at and think about in that photo. Let's see what we got here. Rule of thirds. So I'm gonna make him a little bigger. So his eyes fall, and then if I could, I can't. Oh yeah, look right there. Okay, so he's center right there, right? So that's what he looks like in the center, like, hey buddy. Over to the left, top. You see more door, and you're like, okay, what's that guy doing? It's much better, much more powerful right here. So I'm gonna bring you back over, and I'm gonna see what you guys, if there's any questions. If you guys have questions or comments, I want you to write them in the chat box. And I hope that this was helpful for you. And like, I don't know if you can see this because of the screen, but can you guys, yeah, you can see my lines. I've got my lines on my phone. So when I take a picture, I actually line it up according to the grid line, and I make sure my subject falls at one of the key intersections. So here, 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 or here. So the main subject, so like when I take group photos, the main focal person, their eyes go there, right? Usually at the top is where eyes should go. So I hope that's helpful for you. I'm gonna look at the chat box, see if there's any questions. And Sarah says, great card. I'm not sure which one, but probably this one, but I don't know for sure. I don't see any other questions in the chat box. So with that, again, I hope this was helpful for you. All of my trainings, my Thursday night trainings, did you draw the lines on your phone? No, I did not. So I use an iPhone, and it is in the settings of your camera, actually. So when you go to your settings, you actually can mess with that, and it is one of the options that you can turn that on or off. And I think it's actually in settings versus in the camera. So I think when you go to your settings, you'll actually scroll down to your camera. I'm going to look and I'm going to answer that. So camera. General. Of course, it's good to know where that is when you are asked that live, but I know that it is on here. It's in the settings, and I know you can do it on Android and iPhone, and I don't see it, of course. I know it's in settings, though. I know it's not in the actual camera, but I can't find it right now. So, like when I do, it's just literally, it's part of it's on every photo. It's not on the video, though, and it's not on slow motion or time lapse. So just photos, and so it is definitely in the settings somewhere. So look on your phone, look at your phone manual, or just go to your carrier and ask them to put your grids on your phone. It's very helpful. Thank you, Shar. Thank you, Sarah. And for you guys say it's very helpful. That's good. I think it is important to make very powerful, impactful cards that evoke emotion, right? That's the goal, because you make people, now see, I'm not on the rule of thirds. So look, I'm going to do this with my training. Now I'm at the rule of thirds. My eyes are on the top grid little line in the vertical position. So better than me being right here in the middle. Do you guys get that? So this is why I do this. So when you see my trainings, I always try and go either right, where you can see stuff off to the right, or I try and do left. So, and that is one of the reasons. So the rule of thirds, it applies to so many areas in life. So use it and you will be more impactful. People know naturally where to look, what to be attracted to. And Shar said she used to think everything had to be centered. You know, me too for a long time, but I'm going to challenge you to try the rule of thirds. It's the most basic thing they teach in photography school. And so it's very simple, but I don't think many people know about it. And so do play with it, do mess with it, and see if you get different results in sending cards to people, and have them be like, wow, that was the coolest card ever. It's how you make them feel. Maya Angelou says, people will forget what you do, people will forget what you say, but people will never forget how you make them feel. So with that, I don't see any more comments. So have an awesome night. Oh, the trainings are at Card and Gift Training. That's cardandgifttraining.com. And Shar says she's excited to try it. Yay, I'm so glad. All right, I will see you next Thursday night. I don't know what I'm talking about yet. So if you have any suggestions, you can also go to cardandgifttraining.com. It's my YouTube channel, and you can connect with me. You can connect with me on Facebook, or you can email me at michelle@successtroops.com. That's troops like the military, success as in I wish you that. So I will talk to you guys next week. And if you are a distributor, I do a Sunday night training at 7 p.m. And we're going to talk about how to make appointments stick. So I hope that you will come join me there too. If you don't have that information, just contact me through one of my social media sites, and I'm happy to share that contact info with you. So have a great night, and be blessed until next time we talk. Thanks.